Welcome to Chronicles of Faith, Bible short stories. Have you ever wondered what happens when an entire society spirals so far into darkness that it seems beyond saving? Today, we're diving into one of the most intense and debated stories ever told, the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. This isn't just a tale of fire and brimstone. It's a story about negotiation with God, the limits of mercy, and the harrowing choices people make when everything is on the line. Our story begins under the shady oaks of Mamre, where Abraham, the patriarch, shares a meal with three mysterious visitors. One of them is the Lord himself. As the visitors prepare to leave, their gaze turns toward the city of Sodom, a place infamous for its wickedness. The Lord reveals his intention and says, "The outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah is so great and their sin so grievous that I will go down to see for myself." This is where the story takes a fascinating turn. Abraham, filled with a bold sense of justice and compassion, steps forward. He doesn't just accept this divine judgment, he challenges it. "Will you sweep away the righteous with the wicked?" he asks. "What if there are 50 righteous people in the city? Will you not spare the place for their sake? Far be it from you. Will not the judge of all the earth do right?" This is an incredible moment, a mortal man bargaining with the Almighty. And the Lord agrees. "If I find 50 righteous people in Sodom, I will spare the whole place for them." But Abraham isn't done. Emboldened, he pushes further. "What if there are only 45? he asks. The Lord agrees. "Again, for 45, I will not destroy it." Abraham continues this breathtaking negotiation, chipping the number down. 40, 30, then 20. Finally, with trembling hope, he makes his last plea. "May the Lord not be angry, but let me speak just once more. What if only 10 can be found there?" The Lord's response is a testament to his patience and mercy. "For the sake of 10, I will not destroy it." With that, the Lord departs, leaving Abraham to await the fate of the cities, now hanging on the righteousness of just 10 people. As evening falls, the scene shifts to the city gate of Sodom. Two of the visitors, who are angels in human form, arrive. Sitting at the gate is Abraham's nephew, Lot. Recognizing them as holy men, Lot immediately bows and insists they stay at his home rather than in the dangerous city square. He pleads with them. "No, I insist. The streets are not safe." His urgency convinces them, and they follow him to his house, where he prepares a meal for them. But the peace is short-lived. Before anyone can rest, a horrifying scene unfolds. The men of the city, from the youngest to the oldest, surround Lot's house. They bang on the door, their voices a venomous chorus. "Lot, where are the men who came to you tonight? Bring them out to us." Their intentions are vile and violent. Lot, desperate to protect his guests, steps outside, shutting the door behind him. "No, my friends," he begs. "Don't do this wicked thing." In a moment of terrible desperation that has been debated for centuries, he offers his own 2 daughters to the mob to appease their lust. "Look," he says, "I have 2 daughters, but don't do anything to these men, for they have come under the protection of my roof." The mob is enraged by his defiance. "Get out of our way!" they scream. This foreigner wants to play the judge. "We'll treat you worse than them." They surge forward, ready to break down the door. But just as they're about to crash through, the angels act. They reach out, pull Lot back inside, and slam the door shut. Then they strike the entire mob with a blinding light, leaving them fumbling in the dark, unable to even find the doorway. The depravity of the city has been confirmed in the most terrifying way possible. There are not 50 righteous people here. Not 40, not 30, not 20, not even 10. Inside the now secured house, the atmosphere is heavy with impending doom. The angels deliver the final verdict to Lot. "Do you have anyone else here? Your sons-in-law, your sons, your daughters? Get then out of this place, because we are going to destroy it." The outcry to the Lord has become so great that he has sent us to bring it to ruin. Lot scrambles to warn his sons-in-law, who are engaged to his daughters. But his frantic warnings fall on deaf ears. They laugh at him, convinced he's telling some kind of twisted joke. They can't comprehend the catastrophe that's about to unfold. As dawn breaks, painting the sky with the first hints of light, the angels' urgency grows. "Hurry," they command Lot. "Take your wife and your 2 daughters who are here, or you will be swept away when the city is punished." But Lot hesitates. He lingers. It's hard to imagine what was going through his mind leaving his home, his possessions, the life he knew. His hesitation is so profound that the angels have to physically intervene. They grasp the hands of Lot, his wife, and his 2 daughters, and literally drag them to safety outside the city walls. Once clear, the final command is given: flee for your lives. Don't look back, and don't stop anywhere in the plain. Flee to the mountains, or you will be swept away. Lot, still terrified, begs to be allowed to flee to a small nearby town named Zoar instead of the mountains, and the angels grant his request. As the sun fully rises over the horizon, the judgment begins. The Lord rains down fire and burning sulfur from the heavens onto Sodom and Gomorrah. The entire plain, with its cities and all their inhabitants, is utterly consumed. It's a scene of unimaginable destruction. In this moment of terror and flight, a tragic choice is made. Lot's wife, against the direct command of the angels, looks back. Perhaps it was a longing for her home, her friends, or the life she was leaving behind. Whatever the reason, her disobedience has an immediate and bizarre consequence. The moment she turns her head, she becomes a pillar of salt, a permanent statue frozen between the past and the future. Early the next morning, Abraham returns to the cliffside where he had bargained with God. He looks out over the valley, but the beautiful, well-watered plain he once knew is gone. In its place, he sees only dense, black smoke rising from the land. Like the smoke from a massive furnace, the cities are gone. The people are gone. All that remains is devastation. The story, however, doesn't end there. The aftermath is just as troubling. Lot and his 2 daughters, afraid to stay in Zoar, flee to a cave in the mountains, as originally instructed. Isolated and believing they are the last people on earth, the daughters make a desperate and disturbing decision. The older sister says to the younger, "Our father is old, and there is no man around to continue our family line." Driven by a distorted sense of survival, they devise a plan. They get their father drunk on 2 consecutive nights, and each in turn sleeps with him without his knowledge. From this deeply unsettling act, both daughters become pregnant. The older gives birth to a son named Moab, who becomes the ancestor of the Moabites. The younger has a son named Benami, the ancestor of the Ammonites. These 2 nations would go on to have a long and often contentious history with their relatives, the Israelites. The story of Sodom and Gomorrah echoes through history as a stark warning. It's a complex narrative of divine judgment and human depravity. But it is also a story of mercy, the mercy that pulled a hesitating man and his family out of the fire, and the mercy that was willing to spare an entire city for the sake of just 10 good people. Abraham stood looking over the smoldering valley. He saw a world changed forever. Where a garden once flourished, there was now only the desolate silence of the salt. What do you think is the main lesson of this story? Is it about judgment, mercy, or the consequences of our choices? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like and subscribe for more stories from the Chronicles of Faith Bible short stories.